Hello and welcome to today's video. So there's going to be two items or two versions of this video. There's going to be the quick sped up version with a voiceover, and then there's this version which is basically the whole journey. So we're back with the switch mode power supply from the F1, and I'm going to be redoing some of the work that I carried out previously. One of the big things I'm going to be doing is removing this large capacitor, which even though it tested okay, I do have a newer one, or in fact a brand new one, which I will take the time to put into here. Now, let's just have a look. Yeah, so this power supply, that's our primary side. So this is the rectifier we've got to replace. Now the rectifier has a couple of symbols. We have a plus and a minus, which is completely forgotten now. Yeah, plus and minus is plus and minus there, but the other rectifier, which is the drop-in replacement, has plus and minus on alternative legs. So plus and minus are on this side, alternating current that side. So yeah, so DC current would be towards that massive capacitor, AC current would be that transformer back. You can see that. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the massive capacitor out of the way. Now the new capacitor is actually taller and will exceed the height of this metal case. So I'm going to have to go without the metal case, and I'm going to have to attach the heatsink directly to this panel here, and possibly work out some heatsink action for this one as well. So let's start off by getting this big capacitor out of the way. Just realised I need to take that foam pad and give that foam pad a bit of water. So where is it? Have I got it in my pocket? Bear with me, be back shortly. There we go, I've actually lost the foam pad, but not to worry, I can still work with that. So hopefully the iron is warm enough. Let's start by removing the large capacitor. So that's ready to go. Yeah, but definitely warm enough. Take a few goes to remove all of the solder on this one. That's just done a pretty good. Oops. Oh dear. Never discharge the solder over the board that you're working on. Right, here we go again. Should be good for another one. And one more on this one. There we go. Now for positive, which is this one. Actually, that's pretty good. That's nearly got all of it in one go. So there's just a little bit left on the end, which should come out. So let's give that a bit of a wipe on there. Actually, that's working better than the sponge. It's getting rid of that sort of carbon build-up. And perfect, there you go, it's out. So we have negative, positive. So let's have a look at this. Negative was to the back, as can be seen on there. So let's get out our new one. This is our new one. As you can see, it's quite a bit taller. And we have negative at the back, positive to the front. So as you can see there, that's positive, negative. So we'll just get that wired up correctly. And that should slot in nicely. Actually takes up a bit less space than the other one and gives us a bit more space to play with the rectifier positioning. So with that one in place, let's get some solder. I don't know how many years I've had this reel of solder. I bought this at some point in the 90s, and most of it has been used within the past few years, since I've really started getting into this hobby. Before that, it was only used occasionally. Anyway, nice little random bit of factoid there for you. So let's heat that up and a dab of solder. There we go. And heat this up. And a dab of solder, which might need a bit more. There we go. And same story with this one as well. Just fill in the space with solder. There we go. And same story. So here. There you go. That looks nice. So that's actually filled in that space quite nicely. I'll turn this one around for this one, and we'll fill out space on this one. So we'll go here, and there. There we go, done. Ow. So if we flip over, there we are, that's now securely in place. Negative is there, positive there. That actually looks a better solder finish than the one I put back in previously. So that's now ready to go. This is the other one. And let's get my ESR meter onto it, because I think it's okay, but I don't want to risk it, given that it's nearly 40 years old and I have a fresh, brand new one ready to go on. Right, here we are. Here is the ESR meter. So we'll just plug that into place. Right, so let's see what value it comes up at. The capacitor is a 400 volt, 220 microfarad device. ESR meter gives us 218.5 microfarads, ESR of 0.38 ohms. That capacitor is actually fine in that case. So there's no problems with that at all in my book. The new one is a 450 volt, 220 microfarad capacitor. It's actually a bigger rated voltage, which is fine. And it's probably not a good idea to test it in circuit, but let's see what it comes up with in circuit. I'll just move that to there. Oops. Oops. There, okay. .8 microfarads, 1.1 ohms ESR. It might be, in fact it very likely is, because it's in circuit. But that is brand new, that should be absolutely fine. It's from RS Components, who do produce good quality stuff, or do stock good quality equipment. So the other two we replaced with these two little ones, which are actually these ones here. And they had, as you can see, they'd started corroding down the leg. These were 350 volt 4.7 microfarads. These ones are 450 volt 4.7 microfarads. So I've overrated the capacitors there as well. Plus, plus, yep, that's fine. Those are both in. So the next job is this rectifier. Now the rectifier, I've actually taken it out, and we have the original and replacement here. This one is the original. This one is the replacement. Now if you see, or look and observe, the plus and minus side on here. There we go. I don't know if that's focused or not. Plus and minus side is on one side, but on this one the plus and minus side is diagonal. So there's one there, and then we've got the alternating there and there. So I'm going to have to do something a little bit crafty with this. Now, I've never actually done this before, so it'll be interesting to see how this comes out. Let's put the capacitors out of the way over there. There's a little hat and base for that capacitor. So let's take our this thing here. I don't know if this will work or not, but it's certainly worth a go. It's a bit floppy. So I think that's there. If I bring this one to here, and I think you tighten it in place like that. That's good. So that'll go like that. This one will go like so, and tighten that into place about there, and then you've got movement on those. We've got this nifty magnifying glass affair, which will probably from that angle actually. So about there, lock that in place there, that can go there, and there. So what I will do is on one side we will have one of the legs, on the other side we will have paper clip. So we'll pop the paper clip into here and kind of line it up with the leg there. I don't know if this will even work, but it's worth a go for sure. So I'll just pop that into there. That can, we need to move that way a bit, and then move to there. Actually, if that goes about there, this can then come through. I'll just move that out of the way as it's disorientating. That can come through and meet up first off this bottom leg here. Oh bother. Actually, that's not coming up too bad. There we go. That's pretty much a little bit more ending of said paper clip should have us meeting up there. So about there should do it, I reckon. And maybe there. There. Actually, I've just thought of another way to do this. What I could do is actually put the paper clip into the same clamp as the rectifier leg. The reason being is that I can join them both together like so. So I could put this one into there or here like that. Problem is that rectifier leg's actually a bit thicker. But I should be able to, if I take both of them together like that. I think that is about there, so I should be able to get the solder and apply heat across both and try bridging that gap between the two. I was going to say try bridging the gap between the two. That's going to be easier said than done. You do have a bit of solder on there which you might be able to use to your advantage by literally doing this, by putting that onto there and that across there like so. Let it cool and it doesn't work, so let's try that again. This is going to be one of those things that will take a bit of time to get right, I reckon. Let's put a bit more solder on this leg. There you go. Keep it there, hold it, hold it, hold it. There you go, it's on. So what I think I need to do now is blob a bit more solder onto it. Botheration. I might have to pre-blob it. So there we go, big blob. That's really not working very well, actually, is it? Let's try this a different way. So here is our board. Here is our old one with the plus and minus on that side. So we've got plus in the right place. Minus will need to come over, so I'm wondering if we just do this a slightly different way. Quite literally. So I should use about, for minus, we'll try and get that in place first. So I'm going to try and use some of this shrink stuff. And there we go. So that's shrunk in place. That's fine on that side. This is the other one that's going to have to come over to the other side. I need to get rid of some of that solder first. So let's try and clean that off. There we go. So that'll be another one to go on here. Might need to shorten that a little bit, so let's shorten that a touch. Like so. There we go. Pop that into there. That should do it. Ow. There we go, that's that one. And now the other two. So here's the other two. So there's one. That's possibly a bit long, but that should be fine. So okay. Same story with the other one. There we go. And where are we? Right, there we go. So plus is over here. Minus will need to come over to meet plus, about there. Then we got those two there. So like that, really. Sorry, got that wrong. That's actually an alternating. So no, sorry, I was right. Yeah, because minus is over there. Then you got the alternating coming over to meet its other alternating. Then what that should mean is we have plus and minus. So here's plus. Minus, I have to sort that out again. So minus will need to come over somehow meet with plus. So minus over to there, alternating over to there. So yeah, so we've got plus here, then we have minus here, alternating, alternating. So it doesn't matter what position the alternatings go into, as long as they go in. So let's sort this out with the plus and minus first. So there's our plus. There is our minus. Let's get those two in position first. There you go. That's our plus and minus. Then we need to sort out these alternatings. So the alternatings, I'm actually wondering if I need to do those first. Either way it's going to be a pain. I might have to chop the legs, so let's chop down positive. And shave off a bit there. I need to chop down this one as well. Okay, just take this off camera. Right. So minus, plus, okay. Minus, plus. I'm going to do it with these back ones first, so that back one goes in there, that one into there. Let's just try it the other way around, that one first, and this one. Might need a little bit of persuasion actually. What can I use to persuade it? A very small flat blade screwdriver. Should actually tweezers will do it. Go. There we go. So that one into there. Perfect. There we go. That's those two. Now we've got these front ones. So we've got the positive into there. Other alternating into there as well. So positive there, alternating. Needs to shift it to there. Negative leg, which is crossed over to there. Positive leg, there. There, so I think that's all of them actually. Yeah, that's all of them. So we got minus crossing over, and yeah, okay, yeah, we got all of them. We're going to need to solder those pretty quick, so I'm going to use the old rectifier to stand up. Because it's, oh, I don't need to, it's actually holding its own. Right, quickly does it, because I don't want it to fall out. So it was a pain to get it in, so let's clean this off. Let's do this leg first. Okay, there's one. Two. Two and a bit. 3. 4. Excellent. Touch that one up a bit. Perfect. Right, we're in. And orientation check. So, doesn't look pretty, but it is there. We have minus over here coming into there because in this one, plus and minus were on one side, as you can see. So minus is coming from there into there, alternating over to there, alternating is staying there as well. So that's where it differs from the last one. It did need to be redone. Okay, now I think that's all we need to do wiring wise on this. Although I've got to be honest, I am tempted to possibly renew these two, but I don't know if I need to, because everything that went wrong with this it went wrong in storage. So the last time this worked was when it was last turned on. So, or turned on properly. Then it was put into storage, and that's when we started to have the problems with those capacitors. Sometimes it does take, I think, these two chips with it, but I'm going to risk it because I tested them before in circuit and they seem to be okay. There was certainly a dead short on the rectifier, and those two capacitors were past their best. This one was fine, but for the sake of a few pounds for buying one, I've replaced it anyway. The next thing I need to do is sort out those wire wound resistors. They blew last time we tried to power this up, and they sit on a little board in the main chassis, and there's the little board there. So what we will do is we will pop said little board out. That's going to need a Phillips / crosshead. So Phillips / crosshead. So there's one. There's another. So these are, I think they call them, there's different names they call these. I think it's either wire round, ceramic, safety, and fusible resistors. From what I understand, they're doing pretty much the same thing. They are providing effectively resistance, but if that resistance is too high, they blow. So they break apart effectively, completely and utterly. And that's good for a number of reasons. It protects the circuits further downstream from this little board here. So this little board effectively almost smooths out the mains, because there is a big smoothing capacitor on there. There's also what looks like a little transformer. I'm not sure if it's actually a transformer or just something that's, again, removing noise from the mains. And then you've got this one going to the power switch and this one going to the switch mode unit. So that gives us access to this. We can unclip that, remove the shielding. There you got your two resistors there. So they're 1.8 ohms. Now, according to the circuit diagram, they are 1.8 ohms. There's no getting away from that. The circuit diagram, the official service manual rather, says that they're 1.8 ohms. So I'm going to trust that the service manual is correct in this instance, and I have purchased a suitable set. So I've actually bought more than I need, because knowing my luck they will blow. Because knowing my luck there will be something else wrong with this. I always seem to pick the best ones, don't I? Anyway, let's put this onto my lap. And let's start unsoldering these resistors. I actually just found a use for this. Perfect. There we go. Whoops. Right, so there's one. Two. Botheration. Three. Four. There we go. That one just popped straight out there. Right, there we are. So there's one. And you can see what's happened. So you can see it's wire wound inside here. So you've got little wires, which obviously go around what looks like a ceramic core. And when there's too much resistance, they blow. So they blow apart, obviously blow this external shielding off, but they break the circuit and they keep your equipment in one piece. So very good at preventing fires as well. So well worth replacing like for like. Don't be tempted to replace them with standard resistors. Standard resistors are different. They work differently. They will still blow apart if they get too hot, but they won't protect in the same way that these do. These will protect circuits further downstream. Normal resistors won't. They won't work in quite the same way. In fact, they will do more damage than good. So if you're buying an old piece of equipment, say an old VCR, something along those lines, if the buyer of the VCR has said that it has been fully restored, get the service manual, get a copy of the service manual, and make sure that where there are any of these wire wound ceramic resistors, they have actually replaced them with ceramic wire wound resistors, and they just haven't shoved any old resistor in there, because that would not be the best for your piece of equipment that you've just spent money on, and also the ongoing safety of the machine itself. Always worth checking. Anyway, so let's do this and that. Do the same here and here. And we're ready to solder. So let's just hold that in position again. Okay, so here we go. There's that one. Pop onto there. There's one. Pop onto there. Whoops. That's weird. And also annoying. Let's just wipe that down. Okay, that's interesting because the actual pad for that seems to have come away. So what I'm going to need to do is see if I can scrape some of this away. So that annoying Sony thing where you just lose, you actually lose the contact point. So I need to scrape away, if I remember rightly, scrape away here. And actually expose some of the copper. And I'll need to expose copper on this track here. So there we go. So I should be able to sort of extend the run of solder into there. Like that. It's not pretty, but it does complete the circuit. Right, okay, so let's just pop that out. Let's remove its legs. There's one, there's two, 3, 4. Right, here we go. So let's check those are okay. Doing a visual check. Okay, right, let's put this back around. So that will go into there like so. That will then clip over like that. So that's back in. That can go back through, and that can I need to plug that back in one time. Alright, we'll do that in a moment once I've got this in place. Right, so let's move this all out of the way. There we go. Okay, so there's that back into there. Let's pop these 2 screws back into place. So screw wise. There we are. So let's pop this one back into here. Right, that's that one back. Whoops, that's that one back in. And where is my other? Where are my other ones? Why does this always happen? Every time I do a bit of work, screws go missing. It's the most irritating. That's because I put them safely out of the way, thinking that's the place where I will put them, where I will be coming to use them. So this one goes into there, down the bottom. There we go. In you go, little fella. And there, we should be ready. We just need to screw this back into place. So that goes there. This one to here. There we go. It's coming out. That's going in nicely. And that's now secure. So the mains cable is secure. You need to just put this one, plug this back in down here. There's only one way it will go. Down there. Okay, check on the front. Power is off. Now put the switch mode supply in. So it goes in this way. That plugs into there. And keep these out of the way. We're going to power it up without it connected to anything at all. So it's going to be completely unconnected to anything. Like so. Right, so that's there, there. That's actually going to foul the top cover, so that will be interesting to get back in. Let's plug this in. See what happens. I may have to modify the top cover slightly, which will take away its stacking credentials. Right, here goes nothing. Okay, nothing has exploded. That's a good sign. Nothing has exploded. So let's power that down. Let's now unplug. Sorry, I'm in the way, but let's unplug this. Nothing exploded. I like it when things don't explode. So let's continue with that non-exploding theme, and let's put some load onto this supply. So I'm actually going to sit it outside of there for the moment whilst I get it plumbed in. So this one goes into here. This one goes into here. And this one goes into here. Right, let's bring this back over. So these will tuck out of the way underneath normally. About there. Right, here we go. Here goes nothing. So let's power it on at the mains. Let's power it on at the front. Oh my god! Oh my goodness! Check this! Check this out! Oh wow! And oh oh my god! Oh my good god! Oh I cannot tell you how happy I am. Oh, it bloody works. It's only gone and bloody worked. Oh my goodness. So that was... okay, that was that new capacitor. 2 new capacitors there. New rectifier. New pair of resistors at the back. So those are going to start getting hot soon. So we'll need to sort out the heatsink situation, which I'll probably do next episode. But you know what I want to do now? I'm going to power this down and turn this off, and I'm just going to go and fetch the VCR bit. Bear with me. Okay, it's precariously balanced at the moment, but that's the VCR module. So we'll power up, we'll power this on, and would you look at that? Hang on a minute, I've got a cassette here. I think that's working. Well, I never. Does the little light still work? Hey, yeah, it does. Look at that. So, yeah, those are going to start getting quite toasty if I don't replace the heat sinks on those. I don't want to damage those transistors, so I'm going to put that onto standby. And that takes the... actually, sorry, I need to eject the tape. So let's eject the tape. There we go. That's the tape ejected. Let's pop that down and off and off. That is a brilliant way to end this episode. If you have found this video and indeed this series interesting and informational, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. I'm also interested to see how hot that rectifier is. It's not hot at all. It's actually running really cool in there. Those are not hot. They're barely even warm, to be honest with you. Yeah, really pleased with that. So the next time is going to be basically modifying everything so that this fits, because this is too tall for all of that. So I'm going to have to find a way to try and get it all to fit. I may have to start drilling holes in the top cover and putting vents in and things, but I'm so pleased. I cannot tell you. I am so pleased with this. I've basically taken this from start to finish myself, with a bit of help from sort of online resources and also friends of mine who were able to tell me how to wire up the rectifier. But I'm so pleased. I am really pleased with myself, and it's not often I say that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.